Welcome to the channel and to this deployment zone video. This is the show where I show off some of the units that I've painted recently that'll be appearing in my deployment zone in the near future. And to show you what they can do, I'll be running them against the crash test marines later on, a humble tactical squad. So who are these guys? Well, this is a unit of Secutarii Peltasts. Basically you get your Skitarii, Vanguard or Rangers plastic box set from Games Workshop. And then you get the upgrade kit from Forge World, which gives you these funky weapons, helmets, and rather unique backpacks. Kit bash them together, and you have these Secutarii Peltasts. They're an elite choice for the Skitarii army. These guys are the stern guard of the Skitarii, and I'm saying that because they have specialist ammunition. Well, they have galvanic casters, that's what these guns are, and they have 3 different types of shots. Okay, before we run through the guns and what they can do, let's get down to the basics. These guys are a little bit more pricey than your unit of Vanguard or Rangers. Vanguard's 100 points for a unit of 10. Rangers 120 points for a unit of 10. These guys 130 points for a unit of 10. Probably because of the guns, but also because they're also a little bit more resilient. They've got something called a chiropatris, I'm saying. Field generator. Basically, so long as a unit contains at least 5 models equipped with a chiropatris field generator, all models in the unit may re-roll failed armor saves of 1. And in addition, if the unit contains at least 10 models equipped with the field generator, then shooting attacks against them are reduced by -1 strength. So re-roll an armor saves of 1, -1 to the strength of incoming fire if there's at least 10 unit models. And that's significant because this unit in front of you has got 20 models in it. Unlike Rangers and Vanguard, that can only get up to a maximum of 10. These guys can get up to 20. So Rangers and Vanguard, a little bit squishy. These guys have got some rules which help them stick around a bit longer. They also have something called Blind Barrage, the Secutarii Peltasts. Basically once per game, they can nominate a friendly unit within 18 inches of them, and that unit gains the shrouded rule. They can even shroud super heavies, but you'd have to have 2 units of Peltasts to shroud a super heavy. 2 units within 18 inches and line of sight of the super heavy. But that's a nice little buff. You can have one of your elites unit running forward, doing its thing, and in turn 1, while these guys are out of range, drop a shrouded on them. Nice little touch there. They got the same basic stat line of a Vanguard and a Ranger, sorry. Basically weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, and 1 wound. The alpha in the unit, unlike the alpha units in Vanguard and Rangers, this guy's only got 1 wound instead of 2. I'm sure that's a typo. And he can bring an Omnispex. He can bring a couple of things, but an Omnispex is pretty much a must-have, which reduces the opponent's cover saves by 1. Why have I put an Omnispex in here? Well, one of the guns that these guys can chuck out is one of the shots that they can chuck out is a 30-inch range strength 4 AP3 rending at 30 inches. So if these guys are shooting over here at 30 inches, you probably want an Omnispex in the unit because there's probably going to be a lot of cover in the way. And strength 4 AP3 rending, any wounds that they're dishing out will kill if they're in the open. So Omnispex seems like a good choice for me. Also, as you guys are probably aware, that there's no HQ slot in the Skitarii book. So if you're only running a Skitarii list, then you nominate one of your alphas to be your warlord. I would probably nominate this guy to be my warlord because Skitarii warlords get the preferred enemy rule. So you can imagine these guys hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, and then wounding on 4s versus them, re-rolling 1s, AP3, with a -1 cover save. You probably want to give this unit preferred enemy. So an Omnispex is a good choice. And if I take 5 guys out of this squad, then, there's 5 there, yeah. Then 15 Peltasts with an Omnispex is 200 points, which is exactly the same as that 10-man tactical squad there with a las cannon flamer, veteran sergeant with a fist. So that's 200 points of elites. It doesn't really matter that they're elites for a Skitarii choice, because Skitarii troops do not have objective secured. You can't bring them as a combined arms detachment because there is no HQ slot. So galvanic casters, 3 shots. We've already talked about the strength 4 AP3 rending gun. So that's the gun that you're going to fire at your wraith knights and your monstrous creatures and anything like that, because any wound rolls of 6 automatically cause an AP2 wound regardless of the toughness. It doesn't matter if you're firing strength 4 at toughness 8, it will cause a wound and it will burn through most armor. They've also got an Ignis Blaze Flechette Burster. No, the Ignis Blaze is a strength 3 AP5 heavy 1 blind parabolic shot, ignores cover, blast 3 inches. What does that mean? It means at 18-inch range, these guys will chuck out, this squad of 15 will chuck out 15 3-inch small blasts, which ignore cover at AP5. They're your horde killers. Those are the ones that you're chucking out at Harlequins. They're the ones that you're chucking out at Jinking, Dark Eldar, jet bikes, Reaver jet bikes, or anything that's, or your plague bearers, things like that. AP5, strength 3, ignores cover. Strength 3 ain't great, but the ignores cover certainly is. And the rule for parabolic shot is they can even fire that 18-inch shot at units they can't see. So even if there was a solid wall here and the jet bikes are on the other side of that building, they can fire their shot up and over and hit units that are out of line of sight. That's nice. But the real party piece for these guys is the Flechette Burster. This is a 24-inch range, salvo 2-4 shredding gun with strength 3. It doesn't sound incredibly awesome, but you also have to remember that just like Vanguard and Rangers, this unit has Relentless. So salvo 2-4, they're always firing 4 shots. So 15 guys firing 4 shots, they chuck out 60 shots at 24-inch range, strength 3 shred. That's a lot of doom. Unless the unit they're up against is super tough, that's a lot of doom coming down. So much doom, in fact, I'm really keen to take it out for a spin. So let's do the Crash Test Marines versus Secutarii Peltasts. Right, we're lined up and ready to go, and Crash Test Marines will do the honours and fire first. They are the heroes, the poster boys of the Imperium after all. So let's kill some Skitarii. Start off with Ernie with his flamer there, and his flamer, he manages to clip 8 of them. 8 dice, strength 4, but dropped to strength 3 because of the field generator. So these will wound on 4s instead of 3s. And exactly statistically average. So we have 4 wounds, they have a 4-up save, re-rolling once, because there's more than 5 in a unit. So they managed to take it all. That's pretty good. Lucky strike with his las cannon. Hits and wounds on a 2. He actually kills one this time. Well done. And now we have 16 rapid firing death coming in. Okay, 16 shots hitting on 3s. And that's a pretty good amount. No, that's actually a terrible amount of hits actually. Yeah. And these are strength 4 reduced to strength 3 because of the field generator. So these wound on 4s. That's terrible. They only do 4 wounds. 4 wounds in total. The Peltasts have their 4-up save. And they reroll 1s. So 2 more Peltasts die. Okay, at the end of that volley of fire, 3 of the Peltasts lie dead. There's 12 left. Now the question is, what do I fire back? Do I fire the strength 4 AP3 shots? Or do I fire the strength 3 salvo 2-4 shredding shots? I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do, for your viewing pleasure, is I'm going to fire them both. Let's fire the 12 strength 4 AP3 shots, and then and see how many that kills. And then we'll stand them up again, and then we'll fire the 48 strength 3 shredding shots to see which one is actually more effective in situations like this. So I've got 12 dice in my hand, and these will hit on 3s. That's a pretty good amount of hitting, actually. So that's 10 hits in total. And these are strength 4, AP3. So any 4s and the Marines die. And that's a pretty good amount of wounds. In total, that would kill 6 out of 10. Ouch. Okay, so the strength 4 AP3 shots were pretty effective. So now that killed 6. Let's remember 6, guys. So now let's fire the 48 strength 3 shredding shots to see if we can kill more than 6. Okay, here's 48 dice hitting on 3s. Yeah, let's work that out. That was 34 hits, so now we're wounding on 5s with a reroll with shred. So let's reroll. Re-rolling. And that's a few more there. So let's figure out how many I did in total. Okay, that chucked out exactly 20 wounds. I don't know if that's statistical or not off of that many shots. 48 shots, 20 wounds. Don't know. But let's find out how many crash test Marines are going to die this time. Remember 6 to beat, so 3 up armor save. How many die? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. That killed 8 of them. Nasty. And then, of course, the real kicker is after 8 of these die, or 6 of them die, they can charge, because they have relentless. So let's do that. Crash Test Marines get to Overwatch. They hit on 6s. They get 1 hit, which wounds on a 4 now, sorry, which doesn't wound. And then the Secutarii Peltasts get to charge. And 11 inches, they're definitely in. Marines attack first, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. Yeah. And then we've got these attacks back. There's 12 of them. Times 2 because of the charges, 24 attacks coming back in. The Peltasts hit on 4s. And that was awful. Let's take away the successes because that was really bad. That one I knocked over. That was only this many. And they're going to wound on 5s. Only 1 wound with a 3-up save. And the Space Marines take it. So they actually did, that was good. And then they attack back. Let's do the second round of combat. 2 hits. 1 wound, 4-up save. Yeah, this could go on for a while, but actually it could be a bad idea, the Peltasts charging these, because if just one of these dies, then they could potentially get swept by all of those Space Marines, and you're not getting the opportunity to use their lovely, lovely guns. I mean, if they can kill 6 in one volley, or 8 in one volley, then you definitely want to keep them back, and shooting is shooting. So we'll stop this little experiment here. The point was just to show you how nasty they are shooting. You don't want them in close combat. I think we can all agree you don't want them in close combat. Not at strength 3 toughness flea with a 4-up save, and yeah, the Space Marines. Don't get them in close combat, just shoot them. Okay, so Secutarii Peltasts, 15 of them there with an Omnispecs for 200 points. Or 20 of them for 260 points is a useful addition to any Skitarii force. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Skitarii actually make quite a nasty little horde army if you bring lots of Vanguard with haywire guns and you bring these guys along as well. The reason why that is because 10 Vanguard cost 100 points and their strength 3 weaponry, the radiation rounds can harm anything. Any 6s to wound count as 2 wounds regardless of toughness. You chuck a haywire gun in every single one, then you've got a unit that can hurt any toughness of creature and also vehicles. These guys with their strength 4 AP3 rending guns can hurt any toughness of unit and have the potential to strip away their armor. and also they're extremely good versus anti-horde, both the Vanguard and these guys, because of the sheer volume of fire that they put down. Vanguard are cheap at 100 points each, so for 600 points you could bring 60 of them. These guys here, as you saw, 200 points for 15 of them. You can easily start hoarding up a Skitarii list, and at 1,000 points or 1,200 points, which isn't anything really, you've got a considerable number of guys running forward. You never ever want to get them in close combat, as we just saw. It's just not going to go very well for you. But the volume of fire that they can put down and the board control that you can take, the footprint that you have on the battlefield is significant. Let's not forget Doctrinaire Imperatives as well, which can increase ballistic skill by 1, 2 or 3. And you've got a very shooty unit here, made even more shootier. Because I got these guys, I ended up getting 10 more Vanguard as well. I'm going to start filming a couple more battle reports with Skitarii in it, probably coming in February or March, because I've got a few in the bank already at the moment, but I'm going to do some more lists, full Skitarii lists, just to find out how good these guys are. And I'm quite tempted to get another unit of 10 more Secutarii Peltasts. I can see 2 units of 15 of these guys moving forward, moving up the table, being particularly annoying. With 30-inch range, strength 4, AP 3, run-in shots, but being particularly annoying. 2 units of these guys allow you to do that blind barrage where they grant shrouded twice. Or with 2 units, you can shroud your Imperial Knight while he's in cover. Or even indeed shroud your Reaver Titan if you want to. I know it sounds a bit crazy that they're doing it, but you can imagine that they're firing EMP clouds over these things with lots of ticker tape and flares and reflective materials. So that it essentially will make the target that they're firing at extremely bright, but flare up on all, hard to target because you won't be able to look in that particular direction. Opposite of shrouded really, and hard to show up on any targeting array because of all the distortion and the confusion that they flare over and on top of a target. I like it. It adds to the fluff. Indeed, Secutarii Peltasts are part of the Titan legions. They're part of the foot soldiers that slog along and underneath and in between the legs of Titans as they walk into war. That's their fluff. So these guys essentially, fluff-wise, are supposed to be firing these canister shots onto the god machines every now and then and helping illuminate them with blind barrage, which in turn actually shields them from targeting. I like it. I think they look good, and I think their helmets are very Bronze Age helmets there. Remind me of Spartans. Anyway, that's it for this video. I know it was particularly niche. It'll only reach out and touch a few of you Skitarii players out there, but I thought it was worth sharing. Thanks for watching. Happy wargaming.